JC here at LasVegas.com, well, for LasVegasTV.com. We are at the IPCPR, and we are in the booth of Devils Weed Cigars. Now, you've watched some previous episodes where we've talked about the Devils Weed Cigar, and I'm with the people here from Devils Weed Cigar, and, you know, we've been kidding around about the name, and I'm going to let you tell us about it.
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm glad to be here. Honored to talk about our cigars here with you guys.
I forgot to mention, this is Luis Molina.
Okay,
right?
great, yeah. Luis Molina, and this is Abraham Flores. Just to, first of all, let your viewers know, everything you see in our booth is made at our factory, Tabacos Don Leoncio. Devil's Weed is one of the brands they make for Molina cigar, but there's also, and we'll get to it later, but Pinar del Rio and Tabacos are in Don Leoncio Gran Reserva. But going first with Devil's Weed, I've been involved in this industry for 6 years now. Started in retail, and I'm a big history buff. I've actually been smoking since I was 16, so don't let anyone know about that. But no, I've always been infatuated and passionate about this business, and you know, when I left the retail and distribution side of the business, coming up with a brand, Devil's Weed popped in my mind, and in my knowledge and research about this business, it's actually a term, the term derived from what the Spanish Inquisition called tobacco in the 1500s. They actually viewed it as a product of the devil. Something that's diabolical, and really our intent and philosophy behind the brand is to glorify this industry and the plant, the cigar smoker, and just this lifestyle. So everything, you know, from some of our sizes, the names like Jerez, named in honor of Rodrigo de Jerez, who was actually credited with discovering tobacco. He brought it back. There's a story. He brought back the custom, the ritual of smoking cigars to his village, and you can imagine, you know, no one had ever seen smoking. There's a story. You know, he was smoking, and he was exhaling. People thought it was actually his soul escaping. You know, they were very surprised, and he was actually imprisoned by the Spanish Inquisition for smoking. So basically, it's an ironic device, but you know, but to glorify the cigar industry. It makes sense. I mean, 515 years, nothing has changed. You know, there have always been anti-tobacco groups.
I wonder, what's the Devil's Weed translation in Spanish? Well,
that's funny you mentioned that. Because it does incite, you know, some controversy, and our intent really wasn't to get a rise out of people. We were thinking about using the Spanish translation. That would be La Hierba del Diablo. But obviously we didn't go with that because it's a little too complex for people, I mean, you know, to pronounce. So, you know, we just felt Devil's Weed in English, it'd just be easier. But also, I mean, it underscores our philosophy. We're not apologizing for what we love. So,
okay. Well, folks, don't let the name scare you away, because it's a very well-made cigar, quality cigar, and you know, I'm just impressed by the construction, and I'm all about the flavors and the taste. Absolutely.
Well, when I went to 5 cigar factories to make Devil's Weed, and some of the other factories are well known. I won't mention names, but when I visited Abraham Flores y Juan Rodriguez at Tabacos Don Leoncio, it's a small batch boutique cigar factory. I saw the passion that they had for this business. So, you know, I saw this is a hidden jewel. So I had to go with them. And yeah, Abraham, he's our blender. He's our #1 at the factory. He can tell you more about their other cigars. But yeah, it's just I had to go with him to make this cigar. It was perfect.
Now let me ask you something, Abraham. Because you're a blender, are you still involved? Do you actually roll cigars yourself as well?
My background is mostly the growing, the agriculturing, and I'm like a cook. I put it all together. You know, I bunch it, help put it all together. But there's better people who've been doing rolling. Putting wrapper is a skill. There's only certain people can make certain things, like a torpedo, like a Churchill, like a Figueroa. That's a skill. If somebody does that every day, I'm more like a cook. I know how to put ligero, viso, seco, put it all together and make it into one product. And then bring it to my, prep cooks and say, you guys are better at frying the pan, you guys are better. You know, if somebody's not spreading that wrapper good, when they put the wrapper on the cigar, then I find somebody else who is better at spreading the wrapper and making it, when you put the wrapper on the cigar, sheen and perfect with no defect. Yeah. And that's the cigar that we made for him, the Devils Weed. And then another brand that's a brand that I support, that's my heart and soul, that I developed with my taste, is the Pinar del Rio, and that's the cigar you're smoking right now.
The Pinar del Rio.
Okay. Pinar del Rio is the region of Cuba where tobacco is well known for.
Yeah, it's among cigar buffs, it's the mecca of tobacco.
The mecca of tobacco. The shield is actually the shield from Pinar del Rio. 1878 was the year where it was founded. The details in it, from the Spanish medallions to the ships to the squiggly lines, the path that takes you to the tobacco.
Wow.
And that's why I designed everything. Even if I designed the band, the cigar, the flavor, the packaging, everything.
Wow. From seed to the finished product.
Yeah, that's pretty much, my friend.
Oh, it's a journey.
When did you launch Devil's Weed?
We started last year, May. It took us about a year to get the product development and the blending down. This first line is actually what we call Devil's Weed Cabinet Selection. Mm-hmm. A lot of people assume that because of the name it might be a little stronger or full-bodied. And we intend, and I'm excited after the show, we're going to go back to Dominican, Albie and I, to come up with another line under Devil's Weed for the more discriminating smoker. But this one is actually more for the mild to medium-bodied market. Mm-hmm. I actually use the same philosophy that Zeno Davidoff upholds, and that's to create a cigar that has a lot of flavor, but is very refined and elegant.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this is really for the purists, the old school purists. But no, we're excited to come up with future blends.
All right, great. All right, we've been talking with Abraham, or Albie as you call him.
Yeah, Abraham Flores.
And Luis from Devils Weed Cigars. I'm JC for LasVegasTV.com.